Recording has started on my end.
And on
Hello,
mine.
everyone. Woo!
Hello!
All right, Woo! All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever the peck time it is. Hello and welcome to another peck in Toonkind FPS. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
I am I am one of your partners today, Vwild, and I will be playing Lil Lin Stagehand.
And I'm
And I am joined by
SqueakyShoesDan playing Cassel Sinopea. He's asking all the questions and is about to be very surprised.
Yes. Turns out when you ask a lot of questions, you get a dumbass monkey going, "Why the peck you asking all these questions?"
Mm-hmm. Especially with
But
stuff that's kind of, you know, not really public knowledge. Or,
yes, just if you go around asking enough people about the one semi-random thing that lots of people have now been involved with, they kind of get a little concerned. Go, okay, let's go over there and destroy the place. Which hopefully we're not gonna do, because look at Cassel.
so, for the listeners who haven't listened to any of the previous games, in Unsteady in Love 2, at the very end of the game, Cassel asked uh, Gregory
Craig.
where Raymond, or if he'd seen Raymond anyway, and uh, he didn't get any kind of response from Gregory on it, but I believe Gregory has gone off, and there's been a couple of other people who've heard through the grapevine that Castle's looking for Pokemani of some description and has mentioned uh, Raymond, and has also mentioned Dark and Ghost type Pokemani. But uh, other than that, I
Mhm.
think that's probably
Yeah,
enough context for most listeners.
indeed. Indeed, because got told. Gregory then told Rye. Rye then told his mum, which is always a fun thing with the paranoid monkey. We'll see how it goes. But I think we're ready to jump in now, if you are.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Hey, so as we said before in DMs, it's it's a pretty good day. It's decent, sun's shining. It's autumn, but it's warm weather for everything, all things considered. And hey, Cassell, what are you doing today, eh?
So,
Just nice time out in the park, perhaps?
yeah, he's although he should be looking for the thing that he's been investigating and has gone out on a mission to do, he's probably just going to go to the park and draw some of the people there, learning some of the different fashions of the day, or maybe doing some writing in his book. It really depends on what takes his fancy, but he's just going to take it a little bit easy. Maybe he'll stumble upon something that's useful for his investigation, but chances are it won't.
Bless.
So he's going to head to the park and sit on a nice bench and until I guess someone passes by and he'll ask to draw their picture and we'll see where it goes from there.
Hmm. I think after a while, hey, roll me perception.
Yep. Just making sure I pick up the right clicky clack. Yep. So that's a dirty 20.
Oh, nice. All right, just let me roll something on my end, just real quick. Right. That is. Yeah, right. Fantastic. All right. So on your end, you do see there are people just ambling past. There's most of them are just going about their day in a cluster of people. Probably not great to approach them, but after a while of you just sitting there, there have been people who just went past, looked, talked to themselves, and then there's this very you want to say short tiger toon. just coming along. Just this bright pumpkin orange and light blues UPA tiger. And she is on her own. It's she actually seems to almost be coming to sit on the bench.
Oh, ma'am, do you mind if I do your portrait? You've got such a cool look about you, and I just thought I'd try capturing some of that for myself, so I can uh, learn what it is to be so cool and stuff.
And the tune before you almost does a double take as though they hadn't quite seen you and then just goes, of course, I'd be delighted. Do you mind if I sit with you?
Sure, yeah. Please go ahead. Make yourself comfortable. Hopefully this won't take too long. And Cassel gets out his book and, using his tail, starts doing a black and white uh, painting of this tiger. UPD. What brings you to the park today? It's such a nice day.
Oh, indeed. And you'd be surprised just who you can meet. Well, I like people watching. It's an enjoyable experience.
Yeah. I'm hoping to find either some dark or ghost type Pokemani, but it might be too nice of a day to find them or any kind of news on them. You haven't happened to have seen or heard of where Raymond has gone? He's a Pokemani from Johtos? Uh, uh,
Hmm.
Never mind. It's just a fleeting thought. Uh, Here, what do you think so far? It's coming along nicely, isn't it?
And this tune in front of you does lean over and does just like nod because yeah, that I'm pretty sure. Would you mind rolling me performance? So let's see how well it does.
Yep. Uh, so that's 14.
Yeah, that it is coming along very nicely. This sketch is catching the likeness, perhaps not all of it, perhaps not as much as you really like, but the way this tune is before you, some of their design just seems ever so slightly to be shifting slightly for some reason. So it might be hard to catch the exact likeness.
Yeah,
But
it was very difficult to get the exact design of your stripes there, Miss. Just because, like, if I'm not mistaken, I think they're moving or something. It's really cool, but I don't think this, with the lack of color, I don't think it really does it the full justice of your look. But I think it's getting there.
oh, indeed, indeed, it's absolutely fantastic on that front. But never mind about that. You said dark type Pokemani.
Uh,
I
y-
believe I've heard that phrase before.
oh, wow. Really? You'd. And even though I've asked a lot of people that question, I think you're the first one who's actually said anything about it. Like, even back on Jotos, no one said that they knew anything. Uh, Please, where have you heard that before? I personally found it in a very old book, but didn't have very much information on it. What what do you know about it? Have you seen any?
And the tune in front of you does just nod, and they seem almost contemplative as they go, "Oh, yes, yes. Um, I've heard of them recently. In fact, there's this small boy. He lives in one of the alleys near here.
Oh
A
yeah.
little stick figure, very similar looking to you in some ways.
Hmm.
He's on the alley on Fifth, I believe.
Okay.
Little
Sure. Lead the way. This is, and just muttering to himself that this is the best day ever. That he's finally found his lead. Score. Yes. Let's go. Quick. Which way? Sorry, I'll quickly pack this up. And he quickly packs up the painting supplies and uh, blows off his book, so it dries, and off they go. I guess, following very
Indeed.
intently, having completely forgotten about what he was possibly going to do that day.
Yeah. But this toon in front of you stands up there about 4'6", you'd say. So I presume, how tall is Cassel?
Let me double check. They are 5 feet. So
Ah, so this one is slightly shorter than you, but they do just stand up, and there's the smell of just yes, it's right down this way. I'm afraid it's in part of the lower district. It's well, a little dangerous, a little less populated, but I'm sure we'll be fine.
that makes sense. I guess they've kind of had to stay hidden for so long. Be fantastic to be able to interview them and write a biography on them and find out more about them.
Hmm. Ah. So is that all you're interested in here, eh?
Well, I I kind of want to know as much as I can about them. I want to help write some books on like their histories, like whatever I can get. Really, I wasn't really sure if I would ever get to this point. All I've heard of is that like how to like help treat them or how to like identify them via their egg, but like other than some very very basic medical knowledge, that's quite likely to be outdated. I wasn't even sure if they were real, to be honest.
Mhm.
So I was just hoping to help gather some knowledge for my patron, if that's at all possible. But
I'm just gonna roll someone insight, and they got an 8.
oh no.
There's just like the toon next to you is just nodding, nodding, just, and they are just leading you. Like you do notice with your passive that it's slowly trickling out of the amount of people around you until you get like this is like a secluded area. But it's fine. Everything's fine. But this toon is just nodding as though they're fully listening to you about everything you're saying, just making noises every now and then. And then they do get to a point and they just look further down. And there is this one alleyway between these two buildings. It's a wide alley. And she goes, I'm afraid I actually can't stay. I do apologize.
Oh, they
But
they live near here. Which door is it?
oh, not door. Alleyway, right? That one right there. And
Oh,
they
okay.
do gesture, and they just go.
Thank you.
You should find everything you're looking for down there. I'm sure it will be enlightening.
Thank you so much for your help. This will be a great help to my research. Thank you.
Mhm. Well, I hope you find everything you're looking for. And this toon next to you does just smile, and they do just like they almost wave you off as though just go on, go in, just have a good time.
I'm kind of tempted to roll like an insight, but at the same time, I'm not sure if Cassel would question this because he would be so excited for having finally got a lead, having someone say yes to him. So I guess he would be trying to look down the alleyway to see if he can see any movement or anything in there.
Roll me perception. Random spontaneous music.
That's a 5.
Okay. Cassell, you look down this alleyway and it is dark. It is just dark, my dude. It is so dark.
And without any kind of dark vision, that is not my thing, but at the same time, it's what she said, so I guess Kessel's gonna uh, trudge forward slowly, kind of with one hand on the wall. trying to not trip over anything.
As you might like spare a glance back, the toon that you were with is just gone.
Huh.
You with a 5, you don't see it, but there is like the faint trace of pumpkin spice in the air and like orange sparkles, but they're gone by the time you look back.
Huh.
Eh. But this isn't decent alleyway. It's well made. It's not exactly the dampest or dirtiest or most terrible place to end up at this time of day.
And they said that this was where the dark type lived, so it being dark kind of makes sense, right?
Hmm.
So Castle's gonna keep going down this alleyway trying to look. I guess he's also going past like some of like the boxes, just double checking to see if he's passed someone. But he doesn't know how big they are, so he's just kind of loosely investigating the whole thing.
Mhm. Indeed. And there is a clattering noise at the end of the alley just as you're searching. Eventually there is just this clang of almost something hitting like a metal bin, just like right at the at the other end from the mouth of this alley.
Uh, hello? Are you a Pokemani like me? Love to have a chat if you're available. Hello?
There is no response, but you do see a flicker of something at the other end. Like you'd have to get closer to this opposite end of the alley to be able to see.
I guess Castle's gonna be quickly making his way up as much as he can in the dark, potentially tripping over things. I guess I might roll an acrobatics to see if he trips over.
Yeah, yeah, do that, do that.
Uh,
We love to.
that's a 17, so I don't think he trips.
Nope, you do not trip. It's slow going, but you do get there. And you get to the other end of this alleyway where you can see because there is light. It was a nice day. But all of the light almost seems to come from the mouth of the alleyway that you are now very far away from. And like you're investigating and it's almost as though roll me Arcana.
Yep. That's a 6.
Bless your cotton socks.
Oh dear.
It's almost as though there was something there behind the bin, but you can't quite tell what it was. It it could have been nothing. It could have been like an illusion. It could have been whatever. You're not sure. In fact, I think the reason why you can't, because it's just as you're investigating behind this bin, going, hello, hello, there is a thud from behind you.
Castle's gonna turn around slowly and go, "Hello, are you there? Uh, I'd love to chat and say hi. My name's Cassel."
Okay, Cassel, it is not a Pokemani that is greeting you. Um, as you are now looking back around, there is a toon that is shorter than you, about 4'6", because they are in heels.
Can you give me an
And
intimidation roll to see if Castle would fall over backwards?
yes, I will. That is. What is your intimidation modifier, Lynn? Because Lynn's finally entered the scene. Alright, that is a +6. That is Okay, Jesus Christ, Lynn, you're a dork, and apparently this is what you're going with today. That is a 16 plus 6.
Okay, so plus 20.
That's a 22. There's just this pumpkin orange outlined monkey with like an axe on her back, just grinning at you. Yeah, this does not look friendly.
Cassel would very definitely be falling down backwards, probably in a pile of trash. Guess that's. I'm gonna roll another acrobatics to see what he lands on. Uh, that's a 19, so he doesn't fall in the trash, but he just falls on his ass. Uh, uh, Hi, are you that dark Pokemon that Tiger Lady said was this way? I don't think you're a Pokemani. Uh,
Uh, well, hello there, Cassel. And no, I'm not a Pokemani. I'm rather interested in them, I'll admit, and rather interested in people who are inquiring about them out of the blue.
uh, uh, Sorry, I guess I've come through this area rather slowly, and I guess not many people do mention Pokemani. We're a small island, but I left the island to see if the dark or ghost types had gone somewhere. I found a note, or I found a small piece of information in a very old book at the library stating that dark is and ghosts are types, and that the eggs could be identified. Uh, but
Hmm. Hmm.
that's why I'm investigating that to help find some more knowledge. Uh, and when I went to the library last time I went back to the island, there I saw a sign saying that Raymond was missing, and I thought I'd help out and see if I could find him when I next went out. But yeah,
Hmm.
that
Eh,
I guess that might be out of the blue if you've never heard of us at all. So,
oh, I've heard of you.
oh,
I've heard of Pokemani. And I'll admit, out of all the stories I've ever heard of people making a cover story, I am impressed with yours. It is a good one. I do applaud.
uh, I'm not lying, ma'am. True. I'm trying to find information for my patron. There didn't seem to
Ah,
be any books on this type of Pokemon, these types of Pokemon, and I wanted to help fix that.
of course, of course. Information is a powerful thing in this day and age. I completely agree. However, it's just, I mean, of all the times to be looking,
Oh,
it's, hmm, I mean, with everything that's been happening between the Pokemani and, well, the mainland, all of that little peckin' fantastic situation that we find ourselves in.
there's a situation with the mainland, and you mean Jotos? Like, has something been happening over there? I guess I've been a little bit lazy with my research lately. I haven't really called home in a long time. Something's been happening? What?
Oh, this and that. A
Did
little bit of unrest here, a little bit of mayhem there, a little bit of people coming over here and kidnapping those that they really shouldn't.
Huh? What? Uh, I
I'm,
That
I
doesn't
do
sound like something a
apologize.
Pokemoni would do.
Eh. Oh, but where are my manners? I haven't even introduced myself, have I? I do apologize. I'm Lil Lin Stagehand, PI.
Ah, a private investigator. Nice to meet you. I'm Cassel Sinopea. I guess informally an investigator, but uh, not officially. I guess. How does one officially become an investigator? Private investigator. Otherwise.
We do have a licensing system over here. I've passed my license. I'm very proud of that. But I think the important matter here is we get down to some, well, bringing things to the forefront. And I think my biggest question to you, because let's just cut to the chase, eh? We've had this song and dance. What do you know about Ark Alamos?
He's the governor of uh, Jotos. Uh, he has his son Raymond with him. He, I think there's Sally as well that uh, hangs out up there. Unfortunately, I don't know much about the governor really, except he looks after the town and stuff. Is uh, excuse me. Are you getting a little bit? Do we need to find somewhere a little bit more relaxed? You seem to be rather focused. Uh, do we need somewhere a little bit more open to continue this discussion, or?
No, I quite enjoy alleyways for this sort of thing. They help they help make the message come across.
Yeah. Well, I am not. I don't really know the governor that well. He, I guess, helps pay for the library and help establish it, or at least that's what I assume.
Because you see, all of this. I'll admit, I always like figuring out who knows what, and investigating things. And you see, one of my informants, absolutely wonderful folks, when they pass along that someone is looking into dark types, that the Pokemani haven't, well, exactly treated the kindest out of all the types.
Oh,
And when someone goes around asking about, well, let's say just a actual specific name of Raymond, well, you see, I tend to get involved on that sort of front, especially when people have threatened people like Raymond in the past. And when those that come
threatened
here,
Raymond? Isn't he sick? That was partly why I was coming to look for him. Why would someone threaten Raymond?
that actually has Lynn pause from which she goes, I'm sorry, sick?
Uh, yeah. No one really knew what was wrong with him, but he was apparently uh, born with this illness, and that was why he was always locked up uh, in the governor's estate uh, up on the hill. Uh,
Hmm.
I never actually got to meet him, but I've seen a poster of him, so. Uh, but yeah,
There is the toon in front of you is scrutinizing you at this point. It's the sharp grin that she'd had on her face, the hand on her axe and everything. The glow around her does slightly dim as you're talking about this, and she just goes,
Cassel
right.
brings up a picture of like that he's a map that he's painted himself in his book and starts pointing out the different locations on the map, going, "This is the Hall of Origin, basically the library slash church to Ambakant. This is where I spend most of the time on Jotos. This is the port. This is where the governor lives, and that's where I assume Raymond spends most of his time. Again, I've never actually seen
He
him, but
did spend most of his time, not for a while, and not if we can ever help it again. I'm sorry, I'm gonna be blunt here. You're sure you don't know Ark Alamos? And
uh,
she's just like really just like actively staring at him in the if you so much as flinch, I will pounce on this.
uh, do you know your political members here? He hasn't got enough time to talk to someone as lowly as me. Sorry, I'm just a researcher. I've seen him on like celebration days and stuff like that, where we have like celebrations on the island, but I don't think he's ever directly talked to me one on one. He's spoken to me as part of a crowd, I guess, but
Hmm.
he probably knows I exist. Maybe. He's a good governor, I think. Yeah. Why? Has he done something? Uh, I have been away from the island for a long time. Has something happened? Is he okay?
Lynn just Lynn's rolled insight, and I'm pretty sure, unlike with someone else she did this sort of event with a year ago, she is actually clocking. No, no, you're not actually some super secret villain spy. You're a nerd. God, she's interrogating a nerd. Okay.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I've just been writing my book, and I've not really been doing that much. I mean, maybe I should have been searching a little bit harder for Raymond and the dark types, but yeah, it just seems bizarre to me that they're missing. That there's no record of them in the Hall of Origin other than some very obscure references to very generic things about Pokemani. Uh, Cassel opens up his book, flicking to the page. Uh, the first Pokemani lived in darkness in the bottom of the sea. One day, a light shone down on the ocean from above, and there was a burst of bubbles that pulled them upwards from below. As they came up to the surface and took in the new world around them, some of them breathed in the air, others water. Some took in fire, others leaves, some the light itself. And they used these things they breathed in to make themselves strong, changing their shapes and abilities to adapt to the new world, leaving the ghosts and darkness behind. And
Right.
from that, he looks up, going, I assume from that they were probably real. They It might just be a generic statement. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, there was also some very basic medical stuff where it was mentioning that the type of a Pokemon can be determined by its egg. I mean, they were able to determine that Raymond was sick just as he was hatched, but I don't know if that's relevant. I don't know. That I think they're probably separate at this point.
Roll insight.
Yep. That's a 13.
It's the longer he's been talking, like at the start of this talk, this monkey was just there and looming and being as ominous as she could be. Like, honestly, with the 22, she was doing an incredibly good job. She's probably had a lot of practice, but the longer you've been talking, the more like there's been confusion, there's been an eyebrow raise at one point. And it's just everything that this toon has been thinking about you has just slowly been chipped away until they are just like looking at you now. Just what you've said is interesting to them. You don't get everything, but you do get that. And then they just go,
So,
eh,
in other
eh.
words, I can tell there's a chance I might get out of here alive. Basically.
Yes. You've proved yourself weak and squishy. You're gonna get out of this alive. You are a conundrum. She's not gonna like axe murder you to death and leave you in this place and go get ice cream.
Awesome. Uh, yeah, you haven't happened to have seen any ghost or dark types, or know where Raymond lives? Or has been? Or I don't know.
Tell you what, let's. Yeah, I think we're done in this alley. I think we're done in this alley. Uh, uh,
Uh,
there's a nice tea shop near here. You like tea?
yeah, tea would be lovely.
Right. Let's go get some Pekin tea. Yeah, man. And she just like turns on her heel and just like begins walking towards the mouth of the alley, just out into the light, because, yeah, there is a very much a transition from in the dark and just seeing her silhouette and the orange to in the light. This is a golden monkey.
I might roll Arcana just to see if there's any of that illusion that was there, to see if I've noticed anything.
Yeah.
Uh, that's a 12. I can math.
Nah.
Um,
You
12, not really.
no. There's some of it you do like there is almost a that's a very similar shade to earlier, but because the other tune had like this bright blue tealy color as well, it's like must just be a normal ink color around here.
Hmm. And so Cassel's following on closely, going, "Oh, cool. I guess we'll talk somewhere that I'm probably not going to get shanked."
Oh my god. But yeah, the monkey besides you does just like keep on giving like side glances, just making sure you're actually coming, making sure you're not going for a weapon or anything. You get the feeling that this monkey is a little bit jumpy.
Huh. Yeah. Are
But
you okay, miss?
there,
Like, is this the direction toward uh, one of the things that we were talking about? Either Raymond or.
you'll forgive me if I don't immediately take you to people. It's well, you seem to be telling the truth, but still, you don't show all your hands in your deck, all the cards in your deck. But come on in. And she does just like you do get to a more well-populated area. It's almost like there's this transition of no one doom and gloom to oh people.
Huh. Well, yeah, I've kind of said a lot of the stuff that I've been investigating. Uh, in the library, it seemed as if there was basically nothing about uh, ghost or dark types. Almost surprisingly, considering they were mentioned in that passage. I would have expected there to be at least some myths and legends about them, but no.
Mm, mm.
Uh,
Well, there is always people who don't want this sort of information in the know. But yeah, let's get some tea. And you do come to like this quaint little mom party shop where just like Leyden looks in, just like sees, ah yes, they do good tea here, and is just like, what do you like?
uh,
Uh, I want to say kid, but I'm pretty sure you're older than me.
uh, it's always good to be young at heart, at least.
Mm.
Uh, could I get maybe a pearl grey? Do you guys
Yeah,
have something like that here?
I think they'll have something like that. Just give me a moment, and you can roll insight if you like.
That's a 21.
Yeah, it's you do see this tune like there is like it's a tea shop. It is specifically a tea shop. You can notice that the way that this monkey has stressed that there is like a hint of coffee of everywhere does end up selling coffee. This is Toontown. People like their coffee, but you do see the monkey besides you take a deep breath and then just walk in. And it is very much a she waits until there's no queue, goes in, places an order for tea, makes a gesture toward the outside seating bits, and then immediately just walks straight back out again, just like, nope, 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 nope. You get the idea that she probably doesn't like the smell in this place particularly because of that coffee. With that 21, you get the very distinct sense that she does not like being in this place with coffee.
Huh. Uh, you're not a fan of talking to people who are at cafes, or?
Eh, bad experience. Well, old experience. Liked coffee once. Not so much anymore. It's not a pleasant smell to me anymore, but semantics. Sit with me, eh?
Oh, yeah, sure. I, uh, I think you know quite a lot about me. What about you? What were you hanging out in that dark, scary alley for, uh, ma'am? Miss Little?
Lil Lin Stagehand. The Stagehand's the surname. Little's the honorific. Well, one of my honorifics. I
Ah,
I am actually PI, so I do go by the title. But we're both investigators. You of knowledge and libraries, myself of cases, of helping people in need.
hmm.
Now, before I put my cards on the table on this front, you've never directly talked to your governor. How close is your allegiance to them?
Well, I'm a happy Johto citizen, so I love my city and they're allied with the Toonkind areas. So I believe that there shouldn't be a problem in that regard, right? Why? Is there like something happening? Is there like a war or something? Have I been out of it for
Not
that long?
no, no, not a war, not a war, but a level of unrest. Your governor has done certain things on the down low that have been brought to my attention. And some of the actions he's made, perhaps for the good of his people, I don't entirely know, and nor do I particularly care. It's he's harmed someone under my protection grievously.
Oh no. Uh, are they
Indeed.
okay? Uh, can they
They are
be
now.
revived? Ah,
They are now.
fantastic.
But their actions, and I'll admit, suddenly finding you inquiring into people that want to stay hidden, the person you have been talking about, the person you've been asking about, Raymond, does not go by that name, nor do they wish to be found under that name.
Oh, well, that would explain why no one's heard of Raymond before you. Huh. Okay.
Indeed.
Huh.
They are safe. They are safe and they are well cared for and under the protection of some pretty pick and powerful beings, but I'm not going to disclose any more on them, I don't think. It's
Cassel
maybe with
immediately
time.
puts his hands up, or his one hand up. Uh, just out of curiosity, with that axe there, I just want to double check. Am I allowed to tell them uh, that the person that no longer goes by the name of Raymond is okay? Uh, the posters
No,
seem to. Oh, okay,
no.
okay, yep.
Your governor has done a lot of damage, and between you and me, I don't think he's particularly bothered about the state of well-being of Raymond anymore, if he ever was.
Huh. I again, I never got to meet him directly, but I'd always heard that he cared very much for his son and looked after him up in that manor of theirs. The
People can say a lot of things when everything's kept in the dark. Say one thing, do another.
hmm. It
Let's
makes me
just put it, he isn't everything that he seems.
it makes me wonder if any of the rumors about his egg was were true or not. Uh,
I can disclose this in that I have seen the egg. Now,
oh,
tell me, how much do you know about egg types? What like there's coloration, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, an expert can tell a lot from the outside of an egg about what type the new Pokemon is likely to be. It was very roughly rumored that uh, Raymond's egg had something wrong with it or something, and that what led to the disease that uh, meant that he had to be kept isolated away, and that he would one day save our island.
Hmm.
But I don't know much more than that. Again, it was
Hmm.
very much only a rumor.
Hmm.
I'm glad to hear he's safe.
Yes.
Does that mean our island's okay? Doesn't.
Um, you might want to head home soon. I'm gonna give you that. You seem like a decent bloke, a decent mother picker, but you haven't been told everything that happened. Rumors, the boy wasn't sick. He was of a different type to normal.
Huh.
Because I know, let's see, it would be a white egg for a light type, right?
Yeah. I,
And for, say, a black shell.
I, I don't know exactly, but I presume a black shell could be a dark type.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it has spots or something, it might be like mixtures of like types, and that kind of generally just gets associated with the main type. But
Okay, Cassel, you can see Lynn giving you a very look of I am trying to give you information here, and look, I've just like you can almost see that in a roundabout way she's trying to imply exactly what type of egg disease that this one had.
ah, so I think what you're trying to not tell me, but have me learn is, was Raymond a dark type?
Peckin' ding ding. Well done.
Huh. But then
And
why would he be locked away for that? Like, there's so much knowledge that we need to document about those types if indeed they truly exist. Why would the governor, why would Ark squander him away for that? That doesn't make sense.
indeed, indeed. I have got to ask you, how long has Alamos been the governor, been the leader of your people?
Uh, he's significantly older than I am. I don't know.
Mhm.
Uh, it's not been something I've looked into exactly.
And just out of curiosity, if, well, when eggs do happen, I'm sure the governor would be made aware of that, yes?
Presumably, I don't really get to talk to the Mutherhood directly very often, but
Mutherhood?
yeah, they're the ones who have the eggs. That's where I was born, on the island.
Mhm.
I I don't know if Ark was born on the island or not. I presume
Mhm.
maybe. I don't know.
Because there's one thing I've learned over time, being, well, the job I am, it's that people will try and cover up things that they don't like or don't understand.
Hmm.
Now, Raymond, as the egg of the governor, that would create a lot of stirring, a lot of rumors even before he'd hatched. So a sickness would be needed. But for other dark types, other ghost types, if a tragic accident happened to an egg or the egg that went in wasn't quite the egg that came out,
Huh.
well, that'd just be a normal situation, nothing to worry about. I mean, you're an entire group dedicated to the eggs, if you catch my drift.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot more to investigate next time I head home. Huh. Unfortunately, it seems like I have more questions than I have answers, and I have had more answers in this last hour than I've had in the last few months I've been on the mainland. Huh.
Yes, it's certainly been a hectic year of the plot for everyone, but to put it one way, I definitely think that there's been a cover-up of dark and ghost types. Your people, it's in your myth, but not in your ledgers. They don't want these types out in the open.
It's barely in the myth.
Yeah.
It. I.
So,
I would go so far as to say, uh, against Unbekant's wishes, it's been redacted from the Hall of Origin.
mhm,
Uh,
which is
Only
something
someone like
I'm
Ark could do something like that, and Unbekant surely would not be happy.
hmm. So it appears we've got something in common on that front.
Hmm.
Neither of us are happy about this sort of situation.
No, and from what you're saying, poor Raymond was locked away on the island and
Yeah.
in his room or in that manor somewhere against his
Hmm.
wishes.
Exactly. Exactly. The
Maybe he
actions
wasn't
that
even sick.
he most certainly wasn't sick. I've actually met him. He's a very delightful young boy and absolutely wonderful in every capacity. And roll me insight again.
Yep, that's a 6. He's
I'll
not
give
very
you
insightful.
I'll give you advantage on this one, seeing as Lynn isn't actually hiding this. She probably should, seeing as you are someone she doesn't know, but she's not hiding in this moment.
7.
You do see you see a level of something on her face, just this very soft smile as her voice has gone gentler. You don't fully know. Like this might just be an informant that she has that she's growing fond of or something. You don't get any other associations, but she just goes, but
Hmm.
he's not sick. Injured from what that person did, from what the mother pecker did to him. Yes, but no, he's never been sick.
Huh. Uh,
And if this was someone in, like, Raymond was someone who was going to be well known in a sense because of the rumors. I dread to think what's happened to all the other dark and ghost types. I've never heard of ghost type.
yeah. Again, they were only mentioned extremely briefly in those few myths I could find. Uh,
Mhm.
they really have no mention at all in the Hall of Origin, and I've just about read every book there. Uh,
Mhm.
I'm starting to get the feeling that if you were this potentially hostile about the situation, maybe I should have been more careful with asking these kinds of questions. Because if uh, you were uh, maybe ready to menace me with that nice axe you have there, uh,
I was definitely willing to. I'm not gonna lie. If things had gone a certain way, well, it would have been an interesting end to that alleyway. Let me just tell you that.
uh, can you show me how to be a little bit more discreet with my investigating? Because I feel as if my neck is in danger.
Do you even have a neck?
Oh, the close enough thing to a neck.
You Pokemani, you don't have peck and necks. It's very useful in some senses. I mean, is the head detachable or is it just like an aesthetic thing? And I think this is when like an actual waiter comes over with the cups of tea going, what the hell have I walked into?
Ah, thank you. And then Cassel like looks down and starts pondering as if he's never thought of this question before, and starts like trying to touch where his neck would be.
Like Lynn does take her tea, just like she does tip, because God, these folks, bless. And then she does just turn back to you and go, I'm gonna be honest, it is I've seen a lot of designs. It is an interesting design. No, I'm not gonna try and volleyball spike your head. No, no, I'm gonna save that for someone else, don't worry.
Thanks. But yeah, I feel as if uh, I'm lucky to have found you to ask these questions and to find out that I wasn't crazy looking for this information off Jotos. Uh,
No, it's probably the best way you could have got some information. You're likely gonna have to go back. If there's redacted information, it's probably been destroyed, but there might be something back home for you.
mm, uh,
It's a tough situation. You need a lot of tact.
yeah.
Because just going around talking to random folks, going, "Hi, have you seen any Pokemani dark types? Oh, by the way, this name drop." It's not exactly subtle, my friend.
Yeah, but I was just trying to get the information quick. But yeah, yes, yeah,
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 I,
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It's of all the ways you could have gone about it, it's good. It's good. It's decent, especially as best way to find things out is dive in and be blunt. Same time, maybe don't say it to everyone. Maybe build up a bit of a relationship with people first.
From what you're saying, though, I feel as if I was in danger of being redacted at home had I asked the same kinds of questions there. Huh.
Yeah. With the interesting character that your governor is, I would put it past them. In fact, actually, I'm pretty sure. Are you the only person who does the archives? Are there other people who record things?
Uh, I think there's some others, but Umbercant Hall of Origin is a bit of a weird place. You find the information that you're looking for there, or rather, sometimes it finds you. Uh, Umbercant kind of works like that. In the few conversations I've had with them, they've just been casually reading or uh, shushing me for being too loud once when I found that poem I read earlier.
Wait, you talked to a Peking god?
Huh?
Unbecant
Oh,
god?
yeah, he gave me this pendant. And can you roll perception or insight?
Hmm. That is insight. That is going to be 14 plus what's your insight mod? My fine darling. 8, so that's of 4, so that's 18.
18? Uh,
Hmm.
you could have sworn you've might have out of the corner of your eye think that you might have seen it blink, but you're not entirely sure. It's in most people's design, pins don't usually blink, but you could have sworn that you saw something move in that kind of area on Cassel's design at some point. As Cassel's pointing out this pin to you, you could have sworn it has blunk, but you're not entirely sure. Uh, and Cassels continues to go, yeah, it's in the shape of this because that's what Unbekant decided to give me. Some of the powers that he's given me make me this cool black and white aesthetic as well. Yeah,
Ah, so it's not just a normal thing for you. Well, makes sense, and I've met others that have a brighter pastel palette than you. Huh. All right.
yeah.
She's trying very hard not to get in a staring competition with this pin.
Uh, it's in the shape of a C for Cassel, because, you know, Cassel.
And you all get those, right?
Uh, I, to be honest, I haven't actually met any of the other uh, librarians from the library or like people to do with
Hmm.
Unbekant. he's kind of busy reading all the time, I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. Uh, anyway, I haven't met any of them. The Hall of Origin. Uh, not to my knowledge, anyway. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. And Lynn does just kind of lean back in her chair and she's nodding. You can tell she's taking on all of this information. It's almost as though there's like a conspiracy board over her head just being filled in as she's just like nodding over all this stuff. She goes, all right.
So, mind if I ask? It sounds like the governor is a dangerous person to ask these kinds of questions to. Is there anyone else I need to be discreet around? Or
From what I'm aware of, he does seem to be working semi-solo. I don't entirely trust this Mutherhood you've talked about. They're probably part of this cover-up at this point, seeing as they work with the eggs and they would have an affiliation with other things.
uh,
E-
they're the ones who give birth to if not all, the majority of the Pokemani on the island.
So they'd have control over all the eggs and what people saw.
I before today I wouldn't have thought that to be relevant, but yeah, I guess they would
Mhm.
be. Yeah,
Indeed.
huh?
Excellent way to get rid of things. Put them in the safest place you know. But on that front, there's Sally Alamos. She is I believe she is
Is
a
that like Celeste? Sorry, I said
yes.
silly before.
Yes, but I think she's a good egg. Pun withstanding. I think she's a we didn't get off on the best of feet, me and her. I've met her a few times now, but
Hmm.
I think if you need information that you can't get, she might be someone who can be a bit more subtle in how she acquires it due to her station.
Yeah, I think
Name drop me if you do run into her. That probably might help a few things.
sure. Will do. Yeah, and uh, I think that cool trick with the darkness thingy. I'm not sure if that was real or my imagination when you were uh, you made a thud noise behind me. It was cool. I
Oh, that
fell
was a
down.
rock.
That was a rock.
Yeah,
That's a good
I
rock.
originally, the first thing I did was basically, have you ever learned that you can make anyone look anywhere and just walk in a random direction just by throwing a rock down an alleyway? It is the best of effects.
Huh. Classic
Honestly, if you need,
misdirection, but like,
yeah,
huh.
I've been doing it for pecking years. It's great. You make someone look one way, and then you scare the peck out of them when they turn the other way.
Doesn't even need magic. Wow. Like, I
Yeah.
was thinking that you had kind of used some eldritch force to pull their attention in that direction, but no, just a rock.
No, 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 no. All you need is a spray can of like black ink. If you get that sort of thing, you can put that down one end of a place, set it to go, and basically that creates a nice little flickery shadow.
And
And then on the other hand, you just bada bing, bada boom on the other side of it. And I have a penchant, and she does like clench her fists, and the orange outline you saw before, there is a distinct smell of pumpkin spice. And she just goes, "Oh, rage can get you a lot of places."
huh. I don't think my magic works that way, but being able to use your magic to uh, change people's perspectives on you. Hang on a
Hmm.
second. And uh, Cassel opens up his book, flicks to an empty page, and draws a quick sketch of himself. If this works the way I think it works, and then he gets uh, takes some of the tea and applies it in a special way just so that it kind of repels water from that point. If
Hmm.
it works the way I think it does, and he starts to paint over the top of this new layer, and you see his actual details start being painted and changed right in front of you. If you were to put your hand through them, they won't actually uh, be any different, but
It's like disguise self.
it's exactly disguise self.
Lynn knows that spell. Lynn used that spell earlier.
Ah.
but but she is actually just like watching this, and I'm just gonna roll Arcana. Yep, she gets it. She gets it. She knows what this spell is. And you do actually see that almost look of delight on her face of she gets this peckin' magical bullshit.
Ah, very cool. And then uh, the next picture that he starts to draw on looks exactly like as close to the tiger as he could get feasibly. And then he does it again, and suddenly he looks like an a much younger version of Raymond, but not the Raymond that you know. Uh, this is roughly what Raymond looked like. Is this the person that you were talking about before? I'm just making sure at this point we haven't gotten confused here.
That is. What's your passive again?
Uh, spell, you mean? Or
Passive perception.
passive perception?
Hmm.
Uh, my. I've got a +2 modifier that makes it into. I can't remember the passive on here. I think that's. Where is it?
You know what? I'm pretty sure it's above a 13, or at least a 13. You you see the way that this toon in front of you is just looking at you? And there's a slight, just ever so faint flinch, but she's looking at you, and there is no doubt she recognizes the form.
Huh. Uh, I suppose without being able to use a book like mine, you'd have to take a long time in between changes, and then he just, using a fluffy bit of his tail, just erases off the picture and goes back to normal. Uh, Seems quite
Yes,
convenient to be able to change it on the fly like that. Huh.
indeed, indeed. In fact, I would highly advise use that in future. If I found when trying to find information, sometimes changing how I looked, changing a name that I gave to people, or how I looked with chalk or that sort of department. I mean, I've only recently come into magic last year, last few months, in fact. But when looking in future, give a different name or change your looks. Just that way
Hmm.
you can ask more blunt questions, but it can't be drawn directly back to you.
Or at least not with a knife, anyway.
Yes. Just try not to get shanked. You actually seem like a decent mother pecker.
Thanks, I think. Uh, anyway, thank you, I think. Uh,
Happy to help. If you find any more information in the future on all of this stuff, let me know. Hmm. You should
yeah,
be able to you
sure.
should be able to get in contact with people. I've got a rather extensive network, but if push comes to shove, write a letter to Lil Lin Stagehand. They do inevitably get to me. I used to travel a lot. People know how to find me. I'm pretty sure the poor people don't particularly like me because I just keep moving. Oof.
Sure. Thank you. I'll uh, reach out as much as I can. If
Mhm.
we're a short distance away, I can uh, chat to you that way. If you're in the same city, but
Mhm. Yes, if you do find anything, find a way to get in contact.
mm, I will do.
I live I live at the Stagehand Requiem. We're not going to be around here for much longer. We're relocating.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Mhm. Different change of pace, but you'll still be able to find us.
Cool, cool. Sweet.
But is there any questions you had for me? Because let's just say this conversation's gone a lot better, but and also a lot less Morley.
Yeah. This is the most information I've gotten in months, if ever, on the mainland. But I now understand why. I still don't know what's happening to these ghost types and maybe dark types. If there's more than just Raymond,
I think there
the person
might
that
be.
Raymond used to go by anyway.
Yeah, I think there might be because there's you, there's the person that was Raymond, there's Miss Selly, and there have been reports of other Pokemani who've been causing a bit of unrest. I'm currently looking into that sort of department, but when I find out more information, I'll figure something out.
I used to be a lot more quiet in this kind of stuff, so uh, I haven't really made too much of a name. I hope, but I guess I can't avoid that from now on. Huh.
Try and avoid making a big wave. It's take it from an old hat at this investigation business. The bigger the wave, the bigger the splash. It's you don't want to get swept away by it all. And people will try if they notice you enough.
Mm. I feel as if I've
And
been noticed a bit quite already. Maybe I'll start to dress up as a hero kind of type or something. I don't know. I have to figure out what kind of a image I want to use for myself.
you're
But
just rather dashing in a cape. I think you could pull off a cape. Maybe a deerstalker hat. Who knows?
a cape instantly appears behind him. But the deerstalker hat, is that much different to the current hat that he's wearing?
Yes, but she's going, you can have it in colours.
Uh,
She's bas she's basically now just like having a little bit of a poke.
uh, are you trying to put a hat on Cassel, or is
You know what? She will. She will. She will. Let me roll a d10. Yeah, all right. She rummages in her hammer space, and there's a couple of noises, and then she just pulls out like this light brown tan deerstalker hat, and she just goes, "Yeah, this'll do." And she just like plaps it on your head, just like reaches over the table, does not care particularly for that, and just goes plap.
uh, in that same moment you I guess roll an Arcana check?
Yep. All right, let's see. That is 10 plus. What's your arcana, my darling? 14.
Uh, in a very similar wave to how the disguised self was happening before, Cassel hasn't touched his book, but you can see that that same ripple of colorlessness that's on the rest of his body ripples up to include that hat.
Huh.
If you take it off for like a moment, the color returns to it in a very similar manner.
Okay, yeah, just I'd like for you to imagine Lynn just take the hat off, plap it back on, take the hat off, plap it back on, take the hat off.
Yeah, anything I wear is similar to me in this black and white color scheme. It's really cool. So long as
It is.
people don't notice that I'm black and white ish. I used to be a similar color to that hat once upon a time, I think.
Hmm.
But I think it's a really cool aspect to turn black and white. I've not missed color too much. I've also heard reports that very occasionally, when I don't want someone to be doing something and I want to stop them, they kind of saw black and white too. For those listening at home, this is referring to Cassel's Hex spell that he cast in Unsteady in Love 2.5.
Mhm. But you do see Lynn just. There is almost a contemplative look on her face for a moment, as she goes, "So, the being that has influence over you altered your design? Has affected the coloration of it?"
I kind of saw it as one of the cool boons of the stuff that he gave me to help find new information. I think it's neat. Uh, but uh, he didn't mention anything about that. Didn't really mention anything. It was more just a go get me some cool books.
But okay. Well, I think that's all the information either of us are going to get out of that. I'll admit, that part is enlightening. I'll.
Again, I've not met anyone else who is in a similar relationship kind of thing with Umberkant. Uh,
Yeah,
so
I'll admit, different tangent on that front. I'll need to look into stuff. Let's just say I've seen how different powerful beings can influence design when they wanted to. Not always the best experience, but but I'll look into some stuff, some matters. But I think we're done here. I think we're done here.
thank you for the information. I guess it's time to go home and to ask some really careful questions this time. But
Indeed.
maybe I'll take the long way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do be careful. It's, as I said, Selly is a good source if you need it. But try to stay alive. I've actually kind of grown a little fond of you.
Huh. I was kind of planning on heading to Halloween Town next because my guess was that I might be able to find some ghost stuff that way. But from what you're saying, I don't think that's likely anymore. Huh.
You can always go there. It's Halloween Town is a good place. It's I like the people there. They're kind. A little spooky, but hey, aren't we all?
I'm still learning spooky, but being able to design, change my design on the fly like this is a really cool thing. So, learning how to use that in a sneakier, more discreet way is, I think, gonna keep my head on my shoulders, so to speak.
You know what? You know what? Give it a go. I want to see how this plays out. Try and do that. If you can manage to disguise yourself and get away with it, and you can do it anywhere. Give it a go.
Uh, so, Cassel's going to try and look just like Lil Lin Stagehand, rolling Arcana. That's
Yeah. I'm
17.
gonna roll some. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a very good likeness. You don't see it. Lady's just now. She sees this. There is a look that comes over her face, but the main one is like she's hiding amusement. You don't see this because of that 21. She is hiding amusement. She's just like, oh God, this guy's gonna get absolutely pecking scared out of him, and he's using my likeness. Great, that's gonna go well.
Uh, and with that, he looks as if he's going to head back inside to try and order another of what you had just ordered. So he's going to try and I'm gonna roll performance to see how convincing this is. That's it's a 10, natural 5, but a 10. He walks in, trying to like hold his breath and look away and look all cool, like not looking at the barista there, and just like turns around and nods as if to go another one, and then walks back out. Can you do a roll for the barista there to figure out if they know what on earth Cassel was trying to do?
There is a 7. A 7 on. Yeah, okay. I think they've either bought it. Actually,
Probably a
I
separate
almost.
roll.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll 2 rolls because okay, that's an 18 on actually perceiving. So a 7 on let's see. In fact, I'll roll a d2 on this front. Okay. So the 7 is on figuring out what the heck this guy wants. The 18 is on figuring out because this barista looks up, sees there is still the monkey from earlier outdoors, sees this monkey indoors, and then just sees the gesture is like, I'm not paid enough for this shit.
Cassel didn't think to check to see if there were windows. So that entire time, the barista's seen both of them, hasn't seen what they're talking about, but just saw Cassel transform and walk inside, nod, and walk outside, and just go, what was he on?
Yes, exactly. Lena's got her head in her hands at that point, just smothering a smile, just like, God.
Cassel finally comes back outside. I think I did a pretty good job. I think that was roughly what you did when you ordered last time. I think you used a few more words than I did, but I think there should be another round coming out in a few moments.
Sure. Sure. You're gonna do great in Halloween Town, okay? Just honestly, you're gonna do picking fantastic there. Just head on over there whenever you can. Do that exact trick again. It's gonna work absolutely fantastic. I know it.
Right, absolutely. Any particular establishments I should check out to do that kind of thing?
A lot of people there are pretty nice. The lichens are pretty good on that front. Uh, I don't think. Well, Macabre Manor, the uh rulers, leaders, governors, however you put it, Jacques Macabre and Asclepius Ash, the leader and his second in command husband, they're pretty decent. I don't think you're gonna. You might not meet them, but you might meet some other folks.
I'll
Have a fun time with it.
I'll have a I'll have a go of it. We'll see how we go. Thank you for the tip.
Happy to help.
Enjoy your
Yeah,
second round of tea, I guess. And I guess
indeed.
Castle's going to walk off. Do you need to roll an insight to know that there's no tea coming?
I don't think so. I think she's looked and there is just the barista indoors just staring at her going, "Why?" And she just shrugs.
And I think we might use that as an end to the.
Yeah. It I will say after all this, because Rye doesn't know that Lynn came out to terrorize this picnic. She's just allegedly gone out for ice cream. So she is gonna go off, find weird flavored ice cream, and go home after this. But yeah, this has been good. Everyone's got what they needed to. No one died.
Thank you very much for playing, and thank you to our listeners as well.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. This has been a blast. Thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Right. And I'll stop the recording now. Bye bye, listeners.
Bye bye, listeners.